Hi friends, and welcome to Nothing Venture, Nothing Game. As you can see here, it's GM Jared doing another 10-minute review. This week, we are doing Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Absalom, the city of Lost Omens. Stick around. Hit the transition thing, Steve! Woo! Welcome back, and thanks for sticking around. So, another 10-minute review by GM Jared. So today on the docket, we have Pathfinder 2nd Edition, City, Absalom, the city of Lost Omens. Yes, it is a big book because it is a big city. The way I always put it, Absalom is the center of Golarian currently. It is New York City, Tokyo, London, Dubai, all rolled into one. It's massive. If you picked up the Grand Bazaar, that takes place here. So this is Absalom. Absalom is massive. It is huge. It's a port. It's an island. It's on the island of Kortos, and it's like the largest city ever. And everything comes to this place every which way. And what you have here is a beautiful cover. You got the Skin Sword cultist attacking our iconics, Rogue and Wizard. And it's beautiful artwork as always. So I don't really want to go into how beautiful this artwork is because we got 10 minutes. So Absalom is actually broken down into a number of different districts: the Coins, the Docks, Eastgate, Foreign Quarters, Ivory District, and the Pedal Districts, the Principal Quarter, the Puddles, Westgate, Wise Quarters, the Undercity, Walls, Gates, and Keeps, and the Outskirts, because that's right, there are the suburbs. A city will always have suburbs, and you got it all here. So, what do I think? I'm going to tell you right off the bat before I jump into like the full everything. I think if you are playing Agents of Edgewatch or Extinction Curse, or running a campaign from an earlier AP and they happen to go to Absalom, grab this book. It's huge, it's massive. There are items, there are shops, it goes into detail, and there's a beautiful map. I should have showed the map. Let's see if I can do it here. I'm so tiny I could show you the map. So it's glued to the back of the book. It's that like stupid sticky glue. And if you take the map out, as you can see, I took the map out. And you open it up. I'm gonna put it on my wall behind me. That's the city. Oh, I gotta go all the way back. That is the city. That's a big city. Like I said, New York, Tokyo, London, Dubai, all that rolled up into one. And then yeah, there's the little. I mean, you can't really see it, but that's the sticky thing. Yeah, pull it off. There you go. So huge city, and they give you actual little maps as you progress. So as you go through the city, you're going to want to learn about it. And like I said, if you're playing Agents of Edgewatch, this is great because when I played Agents of Edgewatch, even though I played Pathfinder 2nd Edition, it was all homebrew. I actually never played in any canonical stuff. One of my players, actually, our editor and technical advisor and GM and arbiter, Steve, did. Look at this beautiful artwork. So he knew a little bit more and he could give me more lore, but it was very difficult. I was like struggling when I was playing Agents of Edgewatch because I needed to know like how big is the city, because is it a medieval city which wasn't that big, or is it more like modern just in Pathfinder universe? And it's the latter. It's more modern in the Pathfinder universe. It's huge. That's their coat of arms up there. You could see right there. And this just breaks down like the type of city, the settlement. This goes into detail, the history, the different districts, what you can find. The Star Stone is here. If you don't know what the Star Stone is, basically that's what makes gods. It's a magical item that makes gods. If you could pass the test, you become a god. So that's something. They don't really go into it in this, but I do here in Extinction Curse, you go into it a little bit. So that's pretty cool. Then you got the Minotaur. That's right. There was a Minotaur who did assault the city a few times. That's actually the Starstone right there, by being brought out of the water by Aradin, was a god, and he was supposed to come back, and that's why it's called Lost Omens, because he hasn't come back. Look at that beautiful dragon, the siege of Absalom. So basically they go over the laws and they give you everything about the city. I'm just scrolling along to give you stuff while I talk over it. Like I said, Agents of Edgewatch right there. Boom, that's what your characters would look like. That's what they would be dressed as. And if you're playing in it, that's what they are. So first off, great lore, tons of lore. So meaty, delicious. I love the lore. Then they go into a little bit more customs, and that's really fun. They give you like things to celebrate, what they celebrate, how they celebrate, and what you can find here. So now you get to like the guide to the city. This is cool artwork, guide to the city, what you can find in the different districts as you progress through the city, and different locations and what you can find in those locations. You could see on that side, the index, the glossary right next to it, you see all that stuff. And then you go to different parts of the city. So right here in the guide to the city, they give you shops and what you can find, and you can roll for these random shops and what you'll find in the shops, and kind of like NPCs to deal with them. So then you go into the quarters, the different districts of the city, they highlight it, and you know, this is what that district looks like. So as you can see, I was talking about the different districts, and I kind of just scrolled past all the districts because I want to get you to like this thing. So right here, you have a regional summary, and I chose the Undercity because it's kind of important, because Absalom is, while a major metropolis up top, they also have a secondary Undercity that is actually alive, and sometimes undead things come out. If you played Agents of Edgewatch, that's a situation that pops up in it. Additionally, they give you this little map of like kind of what the Undercity looks like, so you could just quickly go over it and kind of see how it fleshes itself out. And then they give you like famous visitors and what's going on in these different areas. So that's something I really like about this book. And then they go into like more of the different areas. There's a lot on the areas, and like I said, it's a big chunky book. You're gonna have so much information, you're gonna be a bit overwhelmed. This is a book you want to sit down and like just kind of read through slowly. Maybe if you're really like using it as a direct thing in your campaign, you're gonna want to like have to take it all in and maybe sit with it and then do like a second read through to really take it all in, because there is just so much in this book. There's just NPCs, and now I'm up to the NPC Glossary, and there's tons of NPCs. And finally, there is the Adventurous Toolbox, and this gives you items that are specifically there, and an ancestry that we actually have currently. Absalom actually has I guess they're like mer people. They are an aquatic or an amphibious, because they could come up on land, but they do have to go back into water. And so yeah, they're aquatic, and here they are, the Azarketi. Not 100% sure if I said that properly, but they're ready. They've been out. Paizo released them earlier because the book got pushed back due to all the world situation, and they released them. So we already know what they are, and the ancestry stuff that you get, but it's really cool to get to see them. This is just beautiful artwork already, and how they play out. They actually have their NPC. So there's just a lot here, and then as you keep going, you could see them in their natural armor, and you know, they talk about agents at the end, but there's just so much here. So I'm going to leave this on this page right here, and I want to talk to you. I want to talk to everyone watching this. So what is my review of this book? Basically, it's a huge book. Do you need this? Yes and no. Why yes and no? One, Absalom does have a lot of history that has to deal with the world of Pathfinder 2nd edition, but you could have picked up one of the other books that go into that history even more. Two, if you're playing a campaign or something that I wanted to do, let's say your players, or maybe you have a rotating cast of players, right? And not everyone could be there, so you chose to do society missions. And most of the society missions, actually, Absalom, the city, is the hub of the society. So a lot of players kind of come out. So if, let's say you're playing a kind of like Suicide Squad-esque campaign, where you have a rotating cast of characters who go on missions, like 1 week, you get 4 players to show up, and then the next week, maybe a different 4 show up, and they're just given the different society missions. This is great because you can actually read into this. There's stuff that happens during downtime. There's shops. So maybe you get the rare occasion where you have the same 4 players come back, and you're like, oh, they just did a mission. I would like to give them some downtime. They could shop, do like a little, character building with their characters here in the city, and maybe they make friends with a certain NPC, and they could visit that NPC's local shop. This is a great thing. And thirdly, if you're doing, let's say if you're trying to come up with a campaign and you don't want to play agents, and you're like, oh, I'd really love to run something in a city style campaign. Maybe you want to do something in that manner. The City of Absalom, this book is great for that. It has so much information. Or if, let's say, you're homebrewing something and you just need to throw in a capital city that you don't want to flesh out yourself, or you're struggling to flesh out, or maybe you have a concept and you want a little bit of inspiration, this book can give it to you. Now, like I said, this book is chunky. It's a lot. So it is a chunky book. There's a lot in here. It comes with a map. Is the PDF worth it? Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I love lore. I love stuff that expands on the city, the world my players are in. So I love this. Oh, is it a definite buy? Shoot, that's a good question. Definite buy. I'm gonna have to say no. That's a hard thing to say because it is such a cool book. It's not a definite buy because it's specifically around this one city. Now, while you could take that name out and turn it to anything you want, it's still just a city landscape. I picked it up because I love the lore. I love knowing about Absalom. I'm always kind of hoping that they will come out with an adventure where a character or maybe an NPC becomes a new deity. And they have to go through the trial and your players are part of that situation, and that would be really fun. But like also some of the craziest stuff, like the super bad evil lich is just kind of outside their city, like fairly close. It's on the same island, I believe, or maybe he's gotten moved since the war. But like, I want to say yes, but I can't give you 100%. Artwork, beautiful. Uncommon ancestry, sure. There's some backgrounds in here that can play out. You know, if you're looking for more stuff to fill up a shop or something, grab the Bazaar book, the Pathfinder Bazaar and shops that came out. There's tons of stuff, items in that. That's more of a definite buy. This is if you got the spare change and you really want to pick it up, if you want to pick it up as a PDF, definitely go for that. But man, that's the best I could say about it. I don't want to say definitely no, don't pick this up. It's useless, because it's not useless, but it's definitely worth a look. If your GM is into the lore and you have a person who's been playing since Pathfinder First Edition that came out years ago and have been playing in society, maybe your society member, the person in your local store that runs all the society missions, their birthday is coming up and you want to get them a birthday gift. This would actually be a pretty cool birthday gift. I think that would be a definite buy situation. But with that being said, from myself, GM Jared, and everyone here at Nothing Ventured, Nothing Gained, I want to say have a wonderful day and peace out. That guy's brolic as shit.